Alrighty guys, how's it going today? So, it's pretty nice out, but it's kind of rainy crappy too. We're supposed to be getting some, it rained this morning, pretty good. I think it's supposed to be more rain coming though, but I'm not 100% sure, so, whatever, what are you going to do about it? So, I'm going to give you, oh, come on. I'll get the door open. I'm going to give you guys another PC update and just talk about one more other thing. I do have an update video coming up, but I'm going to upload that one anyway, and then this one. Yeah, I don't think there's no saving that computer, and I know Double O Strike or Strack, whatever. He kind of wanted to see, how it looked and stuff. I don't think there's really a point, really. I mean, besides wasting time, but I don't think it's fixable. I'm not going to really bother trying to fix it, I think. I mean, for it being 7 years old, it's probably about done anyway. I know he was talking about backing it up, or backing everything up. Not 100% sure how to do that. I have an idea, but I'm not sure on like websites and stuff. I don't know if you can just click and drag them to like a memory stick or whatever. See, I have one of those little memory sticks that you can shove anything in it, like pictures, videos, whatever. I have one of those. I have all my pictures in there, all my good ones, and I got some videos and stuff. Mostly my intros. So in case my computer did crash, I wouldn't lose my intros. I don't know if I can maybe click and drag my websites and put it into that. And then just put it back. And if I do get a new computer, just put the stick back in it and click and drag it back over again. I don't know. I guess Double Strike can tell me that, or anyone can tell me that. If you guys are smart on computers, let me know. But I think Double Strike and Crazy JD Kid are pretty damn smart at it. So if they lived closer, I'd just let them fucking deal with my computer. They just, I guess, figure out what it's going to cost to fix it, and I'll pay them to fix it. But since they live too far apart, it's not worth it for me. I end up spending more than it's worth. So I've been hunting on QVC and HSN. I think I'm going to mostly stick with either one of those. I'm just going to try to get my hands on a cheap computer for now. I think my mom said that she's going to try and finance one for me because my credit's absolute shit because of the medical bills. My mom's been able to finance some other stuff in the past, and they accepted her, so I figured they would probably accept her on the computer. Someone's fucking car alarm's going off. It's over at the school there, I think. So I think that's what I'm just gonna get something cheap. I know I can get an Asus. Damn, car alarm's going off again. I think I can get one for monthly payments of like $137 a month. That's for like I think like a $500 Asus. I don't know if I think it was only a 15.5-inch screen or a 15-inch screen. And I have a 17.5 or a 17. They don't really consider the half. It's just, it'd just be 17 or 16. But when you measure it with the tape measure, it's actually, 17.5. So they don't add the extra 0.5 on there, I guess. So on their websites, but whatever. It'll just be for a temporary thing anyway, I guess. So I'm going to, if things go my way, hopefully Um, next month, even though I have taxes rolling around, I'm thinking I probably should get paid by YouTube next month. So, hopefully I can put that down towards a down payment for a new computer to get me by anyway. I could get something really cheap too. I mean, I can get one for, $200-300, but if you go too cheap, it won't be able to really take a load of anything. Like Double Strike was saying too, that if you get a cheap one, it may not perform for editing videos wise. It may not perform all the best, and it's true. I mean, no matter what computer you go with, even if it's a good name brand or not, if you get a cheap one, they're not designed for heavy use. They're designed for light duty use, and I'm sure I'd be heavy duty use for it on it, because leaving it running all day and then editing videos on top of that, and then having my security camera going too, it puts a good load on it. So yeah, I'm just going to maybe try to invest in a cheap one. Not like a super cheap one, but one that will perform at least decent. I know Double Strike gave me a couple of links to a couple of computers. One was a laptop, which I think is actually the one I looked on HSN, or QVC, I think it was. And then he showed a desktop. It was just a computer. It didn't come with a monitor because, well, you didn't really need a monitor because I have my TV. Because it has the HDMI plugs in it. Well, see, the thing is, too, I already maxed out my HDMI plugs. I can unplug something, which wouldn't be a big deal. I can unplug the DirecTV one or the one for my triple plugs there or whatever. I could unplug either one, and it would be temporary. But I'm not going to invest in a tower, just because it would be a waste, because I'm going to end up turning around and buying a better tower later on anyway. So, like I told him, my next computer was going to be a desktop. So that's just what I'm going to. It's still going to be an Asus, no problem, no matter what. To get me by for the next couple of months anyway, it's either going to be another Asus, or it's going to be an HP or a Dell. Something to just get me by, and then if Mother decides that she wants it afterwards, when I'm done with it, then she can have it. If she don't want it, then I'll probably just end up using it for something else. Yeah, I'll probably just end up using it for something else. So that's what I'll probably just end up doing. It's just investing in a better one later on anyway. So, because I want a good computer, because it'll work and it'll last a while. But I'm still, every 5 years I'm going to get a new one. I think it's 7 years. It's just too long for them. If they get to be over 5 years old, then I think it's probably time that maybe you start giving them light duty work. Instead of the heavy duty use like I'm giving it. I found out how I can comment and watch videos on the iPad, so I'm mostly doing that now. I know Double Strike said to just drive on with that. I can, but I need something to edit videos. Now, to edit the cell phone video, I've just been using YouTube editing. I still have to be able to put my copyright stuff in there so no one can take off of my videos. And so I have to be able to do that. So I've been doing it on my old computer, obviously. It's a little bit tricky, but it's doable. But Mom says I could just use hers if I wanted to. It's for here and there kind of stuff if I really need to really get heavy into the editing or something. But there's not going to be any more big heavy duty videos. That pretty much was shot, I think, my summer. Unless I can get a new computer next month, if I can finance one. Then my sister can come over and she can move my editing software over. and I can get my YouTube running on that, and then we're back up and running again. I mean, that's basically that's all I had to use that computer for anyway, is YouTube. You know, I'm not going to use it for really anything else. So, God, the grass is green already. It's starting to turn green already, boys. I'm going to have to get the John Deere going pretty quick here, I bet. I'm going to maybe wait one more week before I get that going. So yeah, I have a computer, you know, in mind for maybe temporary. And then for a permanent setup, which would come later on in fall. Which is going to cost me probably a little bit over $2,000 because the tower was almost $1,000, and then I think I was looking at a 27-inch monitor. I'm not 100% sure though if I'm really going to go with that one or not. The one I was looking at before, if you guys remember that video from before, they're no longer making those monitors, which sucks because I loved that one. That was perfect for me. It was a 27-inch, but I loved how it looked. So then I haven't been on their website since, and I just went on it like a couple of months ago, and then here it was gone. So I was like, oh, great, I gotta find something else. So I managed to find something else to my liking. So, still a 27-inch, so it'll be decent. I know that I could, you know, buy a TV and just use that. I think that's what Double O Strike does. I think my sister actually does that too. She has a laptop though, and sometimes she'll plug it into her TV because she can see it better, because she's got kind of a small screen, right? So she plugs it into her TV and it turns out better that way. So it is doable. So, but I'm not going that route. I can go get a high-tech fancy, you know, TV monitor thing, and, you know, and there you go. But I like Asus, you know, so I want everything to be in Asus. My next mouse is going to be from Asus. The keyboard will be from Asus. And I don't know what's going on here. Can someone tell me this? Let me know if maybe there's something wrong or not. Okay, so I bought a brand new mouse for my computer. You know the mouses that move your thing on your screen, right? I got a wireless one, right? Okay. My first one that I had, it started having issues. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to replace it. So I did. I bought another one exactly like this, a little bit different. On the older one, you loaded the batteries in from the bottom. Now you load them from the top. So not a big deal there. It still works the same. But with the new one, I'm going through batteries really fast. Now, I don't know if maybe the mouse is dickered. Again, I leave that on all day pretty much, but I do turn it off at night. The last couple of days I've just been kind of turning it on and off because there's no point in leaving it on because I'm not using my computer that much. So I don't really leave it on a lot now. But does it matter? Now, I used to have my mouse on a mouse pad next to my computer. Okay, well now I just lay it like on top of my computer, because it works. So I don't need my mouse pad anymore. It's actually a place, I guess, where you would rest your hands so you can type. Well, I just been laying my mouse on that, and it works fine. But I'm wondering if maybe, is there something in my computer that is causing my mouse to suck juice like crazy? Because I've gone through about 4 batteries now since I've owned this fucking mouse. It's freaking nuts. Now, I don't know if maybe that last battery I put in was used or not, but I'm pretty sure it was brand new, but I still suck. I've put in a couple of new batteries, and within probably a month or two, they're already dead. And I know they're dead because obviously I get the red light blinking on my mouse. So does having your mouse on top of your computer affect your mouse? That's what I want to know. Because if it does, then, you know, it's well, whatever, you know, it's just whatever. So, but I got a wireless mouse because I liked it. I was really considering thinking about getting rid of it because I was getting sick and tired of replacing batteries all the freaking time. I was thinking about maybe getting a wired one. So I'm thinking for my Asus computer, my new one that I plan on getting in fall, I'm going to get a wired one instead of a wireless. Because I'm sick and tired of replacing batteries all the freaking time. So, but yeah, just let me know if maybe doing that, having that mouse on top of your computer like that, actually is there something in my computer that's sucking the juice through it? I mean, is it some kind of a magnet? I don't know. I don't know what's causing it. I don't know. Maybe the mouse is just freaking thirsty for juice, but holy shit, does it ever suck it down like crazy. So, I don't know. It's a little bit ridiculous, but what are you going to do about it, you know? So, all I can say is I'm burning through batteries like freaking crazy. It sucks. It takes one battery, but, you know, Jesus Christ. It sucks. When I had the other mouse, the old one, I could go like a full year on one battery. I'm making it, I'm lucky if I make it 2 months on this battery, so a month and a half. Month at the least, you know. I mean, it sucks the freaking juice down like crazy. So I don't know if it's my computer maybe it's causing the issue, or if maybe just the mouse is thirsty for juice. I don't know. So I don't know. It's just the way she goes, I guess. But yeah, anyways, I got one more thing here I want to talk about. Yeah, well, besides it raining, pissing crap. My sister at her workplace, they got a notification. Of course, us homeowners don't get that. That they were going to cut the power. Cut the power to the towns. So I guess our power comes from North Dakota because they killed our power. They killed it at 6 a.m. in the fucking morning. They said it was going to be out for 2 hours. They ended up turning it back on in an hour, so, you know, which was actually pretty good. They figured it would probably take them 2 hours to work on it, but here it only took them an hour. So that wasn't so bad. But I was wondering, I've been thinking, it's probably not a good idea. Well, it's a good idea. From my point of view, it is. I'm thinking, you know, you guys know I want to get a generator. But a generator's not physically possible as of right now. So I'm wondering if I could invest in, I've looked them up already. I've looked at one. I liked it because it was orange. As a 12 volt to 120 volt inverter. Now what that does is it plugs into anything that's 12 volt, like on my 4-wheeler or my tractor. If you got a 12 volt plug, it'll plug right into it. And it'll convert it over to 2 USB plugs and a 120 volt plug. So I know that doesn't sound like a lot of power. It's not a lot of power. I think it'd be enough power for what I want to run. Never mind, you got to run an extension cord too, so that would probably suck the juice like crazy too. But they got different sizes. The one I looked at was only 100 watt. And I think they go up from there. I looked at a 900 watt for like $70. It looked decent. It actually had an on-off switch on it too, so I thought that was kind of neat. I want something maybe for just temporary power, because, for one, I knew that the power was going to go out at 6 a.m. this morning. Okay, they did it this morning, so that's why I look probably tired and crappy, because I'm tired because I lost 2 hours. Well, you could say an hour and a half of sleep. Because an hour of no power, and half an hour, it just takes me half an hour just to fall asleep most times. A lot of times it takes me like, I don't even fall asleep at all. So I'm up half the freaking night. So, what I would like to do is invest in one of those inverters. I'm going to try to put some links below here and in the description. I'm going to try. I'm going to have to try to Google it on my computer, and then put the links below. I'm going to put links to 2 of them. I'm going to put one to that little orange one, which I don't know if it'll be enough because it's only 100 watts. But for what I plan on running on it, it should be decent. Okay. Of course, then there's a 900 watt, which means you could run 2 things off that. I think it has 2 120 volts plugins, and then it's got a couple of those USB plugs too. So But I figured that orange one, which is the smallest one, would be enough for me because I think all I would ever want to run on that is if the power was to go off. Is if it goes off early in the morning or late at night, whatever it may be, I want to at least run my bedroom fan. Because I need noise. I can't sleep without fucking noise. So, now, the fans that we run, they're older. So they may suck a little bit more juice than the newer ones do. They're not that old. Well, they're old. Fuck it, they're old, okay. They're not new, they're not high tech. So, well, there's one that's newer. Because it's got a remote, but it's quiet. My fan is a little bit louder than that. So, it would be nice if I could at least run maybe 1 or 2 fans off that. Now, I could put an extension cord on it and get that freaking 6 outlet pluggy thing that I have. I have like a whole bunch of those, right? It converts one plug into 6 of them. So you could just plug, say 2 fans into that. Because, just for noise, really. And just maybe just run it off my 4-wheeler. Or run it off the John Deere. Now, mind you, I will have to run an extension cord. Which isn't really a big deal because I got plenty of them. It's just a problem that the bigger the cord is, the more juice it's going to take. Well, I think that plug was 120 volt, 15 amps. So, meaning from what they're saying, it's more than the power, but the watt is what's slow. It's only 100 watts apparently. So, but I think it would be enough to at least run maybe 1 or 2 fans off it. I'm not saying I want to run a fridge off it, because I'm not going to. I'm going to run that off my generator when I get it. But for temporary things like this, it would be nice to run something off of that. Even my sub pump. Now, I know that takes a little bit. That's actually only about, I'm not sure what the watts are on that thing, but I know the voltage or the amps on that are only like a 5 or 6 or something like that. 6 amps that it takes. I'm not sure what the watts would be on it, but I'm just looking for something that'll give me some temporary power to just run at least 1 or 2 things. Either 2 small things or 1 big thing. I just have to, I guess, depending on the time of the year, I'm like, this morning we could have used some temporary power because it was, it only went out for an hour, but fucking A, it's really annoying, It's really, really freaking annoying. So, and there might be days where, we may lose power for 8 hours, and I may have to run it off the 4-wheeler for 8 hours. My 4-wheeler will just have to idle for 8 hours, keep it running, because it's going to have to keep the battery charged, or have to run it off the John Deere. To keep the John Deere running at higher RPM so then it doesn't drain the battery. It constantly charges the battery up, right? So, just open the... Well, you never would be able to open the garage door, would you? Well, you would have to plan ahead, I guess, if you can. Because, see, they told us... Well, they didn't tell us. They told my sister's workplace that they were going to kill the power. Well, see, the thing is, I could have gotten up at, Well, they were actually 5 or 10 minutes late from killing the power. Because they said they were going to kill it at 6 o'clock in the morning. They ended up killing it 10 minutes later. So, I probably would have had plenty of time to, pop the garage door open and turn my 4-wheeler around so the exhaust point's out and run my 4-wheeler, for temporary power. I'm not saying I want to run my whole entire house off it, but I want somewhat of power to run 2 small things or at least 1 big thing, depending on what goes on. Like, this morning, I think, we could have at least had kept our fans going for noise, because when you have no power, the town's completely dead, you hear everything. And this morning, I heard some kind of a motor. I didn't know where the hell it was coming from. Well, it wasn't no truckers. I think it was coming from the school. I think they might have had a generator going, because they probably have a generator for it if it ever should lose power. So I think that's what I was hearing. But then, Jason, then you're hearing the birds chirping, and then I can hear the cats downstairs because they like to start wrestling at 6 a.m. in the fucking morning. They just start to tear up my freaking basement. Because sometimes my mom gets up at 6 a.m. and they know that, so they're already ready to come up, and play upstairs or whatever. Excuse me. So, so that's why I'm just wondering what I could maybe do for some temporary power. Just something to get me by, especially on days like this. Yeah, the 4-wheeler would have had to run for an hour, but that ain't nothing new for it. That's run longer than that. So, when you're cultivating the gardens, you're probably going for at least for an hour or two even straight, depending on how much cultivating you do. Plowing snow. I'm plowing snow for probably an hour and a half. I take breaks, but it idles the whole time. So it gets a non-stop break. Well, it runs non-stop, during the snowing plow seasons, when I have to plow snow, it runs. So that's why I figured, well, if I could maybe get an inverter or something for it, plug it into the 12-volt, just let it sit there and idle, or maybe even put it on the John Deere and just rev it up, and it'll give you some power at least. Because another thing too is that I don't really want to lose power. And then my basement should flood, because if I had an inverter on my 4-wheeler or something, or even on the John Deere, enough to run my pump, at least I could have stopped my basement from flooding, thinking that those inverter thingies, they come in different sizes. But I would like something small enough that where I can maybe run 2 fans, and then if I have to, maybe just run 1 sub pump off it. And then, of course, if I have to charge my cell phones off it, I can. If I ever need to. But so that's why I'm just thinking maybe small. I'm thinking maybe that 100-watt inverter would do. There's a 900-watt inverter, I think it was too. But it didn't show that it had a plug on it, so I don't know how you would do that, if it comes with its wiring, or if you have to run your own wiring to the battery or something. I don't know. Because it would be nice to have some kind of power around here, I know it's nothing big, but I can't afford a generator yet either, so these little inverter things would get me by in certain situations. Now, if we had a tornado, and it blew out some power lines and stuff, you'd be out of power for days. You really don't want to be running your 4-wheeler for days. I mean, you can do it, but it's not enough power for the things that you want to run anyway. Right now, I'm just thinking kind of, temporary, small items, like a couple fans for noise, so we can sleep, decent, when they do cut the power. And at least big enough to where I can maybe run my sub pump if I have to. And a 900-watt would probably handle it fine. I don't know about a 100-watt, but I'm going to put the links below. I have to look for a 900-watt. I think the one I seen was going for about $70. So if I find it on the computer, I'll paste the link below. You guys can check it out. Tell me which one you think would be okay. But like I said, I'm not looking for major power. I'm not looking for permanent power. I'm just looking for something that can get me by for an hour or two, right? That's all I need. And then sometimes you get power outages, because of storms, and usually they don't stay out very long. But that one year, I think it was the first or second year that we lived in this house, the power was out for like 8 hours, and my basement was completely underwater. So, because it kept raining and it kept pouring in my basement. Well, if I would have had some temporary power that I could hook to the, to my 4-wheeler or even to the John Deere's 12-volt, just enough to get that pump running, it would have saved me tons of time and money, because I never would have had to gut my basement like I had to. I had to literally gut my basement. I have videos on that, gutting my basement, so you guys can go way back. I might even re-upload, or when I get my new computer, I may redo those videos at some point. I've been wanting to. The thing is though, at the time, I didn't know what I was doing with that camera. I didn't have the camera set it up, so it was like this close to my face. And of course now, if you used it, it would be better, it would be almost like the cell phone does. So, it's better. But before it was, you know, right up in my face, and I didn't know how to change the settings on it, so I just left it as it is. So of course you get way up in my nose, but I probably could edit out those parts if it's starting to rain again. That's awesome. But yeah, for a generator, I'm still debating on a portable one, that one that you can move around by hand, or I'm literally thinking about one that I can run off a PTO off a tractor. Now, I'm looking at tractors. I'm looking at like a Farmall 400 or maybe even a 450 or something like that. They make decent power, you know, about 40 to 50 horsepower. The biggest generator that they make for a PTO driven is a 27,500 watt, surge watt, whatever, generator. So it's majorly probably overkill, because I think Bill T-Max only got like a 10,000, or was it an 8,000 portable one. And they said, they said that would be enough for what he wanted to run. Well, see, with a 27,000, almost an 28,000, you could say, watt generator, I could probably literally power my whole entire house off that, which is kind of what I would like. Obviously, that would be for when you lose power for days. You know, which probably will happen. More expensive, but, you know, whatever. And plus it'll cost me probably a couple $1,000 too to have the electrician wire in a panel, so then I can run my generator, plug my generator into my house and run it off my tractor or something, right? So it's a 27,500 watt, surge watt, whatever generator. Requires, I think, at least 48 horsepower or more. The minimum, the smallest you can go is 48 horsepower. And I think a 400 would make probably plenty of power to run it. So I could probably go yeah, they make a 27,000, and then they go down to I think a 13,000, and then they go down to a 7,800. So of course, the smaller you go, the less horsepower it requires too. So if I went with a 7,800, it would only require 14 horsepower to run, meaning I could put a 540 on the little John Deere and run it off my John Deere if I wanted to. But I figured, well, if I get my hands on a bigger tractor, I could just get a bigger generator, you know, and run more things. I'd rather go big, you know. I know some people say, oh, if you go too big, you're just kind of throwing power down. Well, if you're just wasting power, have something else wired into it, so then you're getting full power use out of your generator. You know, I don't have a problem, you know, having my house 100% wired to run off my generator. Cost me money, yeah, but fuck it. If I can have full use of my house again, frick it. It's a win-win for me. You make your money back off it, so at some point. But for temporary powers, you know, a small generator would be nice if you wanted to run a couple things, you know. So, but I think for now, if you guys can tell me what you think of those little inverter thingies, or whatever the hell they call them, little 12 volt to 120 volt plugs, inverters, whatever, let me know what you think. What one do you think that I would need? Because the one I looked at was a 100 watt, and the other one I looked at was a 900. The 100 watt was only like $20-30, and then the 900 was $70. So again, not bad. So again, it would probably give me enough power that a 900 watt would give me more power than a 100. But I'll let you guys think about that. What do you think is the best? I think either one would work for me. Just because I want to be able to run, 2 fans, and then if it comes down to it, I have to be able to run my pump off it too. Not all 3 at the same time. I probably could on the 900 watt if I wanted to, but if I were to just to get the 100 watt, I would have to take turns. But like I said, I'm just looking for temporary, some small power, to run maybe a couple things, or at least one big thing, or If I have to run my sub pump off it, I can. If you guys think a 100 watt would handle it, two fans, I think it would handle that fine, or at least one anyway. I don't see a problem with it. It's temporary power. It's what will give me power to get me by these, short power outages. I mean, if I knew that, that if I had a little generator or something, or even that little inverter, that's what I would have used this morning. But then I would only be running it for an hour, so it probably never would have drained my battery much. But, this is what you have to do. So. But yeah, anyways, guys, I'm going to take off. I don't want to make this video too long, so I'm going to put some links below to those inverters. You guys tell me what you think, if you think they're a good idea or not. Because, like I said, I'm only looking for temporary power until I can get a generator brought down here. And, of course, well, it's going to be... I'm possibly going to get that 27,000 one. Because I'm going to have a tractor that'll have the balls to run it. So, it'll have plenty of power to run it. So why not fucking just go big and be done with it. Call the electrician. Tell him what I have. And if he can wire the whole fucking house up for it, go for it. Might as well. So, alright, guys. I'm going to take off. So I guess have a good day and stuff. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.